Before we start, I want to talk about our mission statement, which is to help you build, operate, and maintain a unique online business that generates more sales and profit. And here's a couple screenshots which you should be able to see now, which is from Google Analytics showing our customers, and this is after a website launch, a new responsive website in both of these cases, and we compared stats from before and after the site launch and made sure that they were comparable data, which basically meant that there wasn't any seasonal trends or things like that. And as you can see, there's some pretty good increases here, which have resulted in the platform being paid for and the project being paid for quite quickly. So the history of cloud, we've had a cloud solution since 2005, which was Express, and then we had Actinic Online, and in recent times, we haven't had an online solution, so we released SellerDeck Cloud. The reason why we released SellerDeck Cloud was to give you choice of being able to choose which platform was suitable for your business, while still retaining that relationship with SellerDeck, which meant you could stick with a company that you know and trust, and giving you the option of having less risk when moving platform or setting up a new relationship with a new company. So what platform is SellerDeck based on? It's a long-standing platform, market-leading platform, over 240,000 sites, 25 billion in transactions per year, over 300 technology and solution partners, hundreds of extensions, and it is Magento, which is a feature-rich platform. So what are the features and benefits of SellerDeck Cloud? Well, it's using a platform, Magento, which is an online platform, and you can access it through a browser, which means you can access anytime, anywhere. The difference in SellerDeck is it doesn't need a LAN, which for some people can be really good if you've got multiple offices. It offers a wide range of features and functionality, which come as standard with the platform. There's access to a large community of users and developers, which basically means you can get a lot of additional extensions and other services as well. There's some really smart people using Magento, so there's lots of different services, not just technology, but actually sort of business strategy and other things as well. And there's a strong development plans for the platform. Magento is actually owned by eBay, so they've got deep pockets, and there's a huge market there with almost 250,000 sites using it. So it's got a lot of plans for the future. So if I was to summarize that in 3 benefits, I would say flexibility, improved user experience through the additional features, and future-proof. Right, so I just want to go through the demo of the platform, which I will do now. And I'm going to talk about a few different things, but before I open up the demo, just to quickly explain how Magento works. It is an online platform. It's a MySQL database, but you do install it on a server. So it's not running on a server controlled by one particular company. You can run it on your own hosting or on your own server. So let's get this logged in. Right, hopefully you can all see my screen and see the control panel. And this is the front screen of Magento. So this is a sales dashboard that you'll see when you first log into the platform. And I want to go through a number of different areas through the platform. Now, I'm only really going to go through this briefly because there is a lot to it. Just like with SellerDeck Desktop, to do a full demo would take a very long time. So I just want to highlight some of the most important parts of it, and then if you want to get a bit of a better idea of exactly what it can do, we can do more of a one-to-one demo on specific areas later on after this presentation. So firstly, there's a great feature and tool of Magento which SellerDeck doesn't have, and this really does open up a lot of opportunity and options, which is managing multiple sites through one database. So if you went to this area here, manage stores, you would see that this is how you can control multiple websites through the platform. And what this basically means is that you can have one database of product, one stock value, and one set of one area of customers, and that can feed through to multiple websites. So here we've got our sort of main site on the left-hand side here, and that feeds into the store, which is this is just the demo store, and in fact it can then go on to different views, which is controlled through the multi-language. So we can add multiple stores here if you want to set up more sites which target specific brands or products. Then it can all feed into the main website, and you can have one database of content. And that also works with orders as well. All the orders would be brought into one place, so you can manage all your orders across all the sites in one place, which is a great feature. Now, in the configuration box, this is where you would spend a lot of your time to begin with. This is sort of like the business settings for SellerDeck. This is where you set up lots of different options, and you can see on the left-hand side things like the currency setup. You've got your tax options here, and a number of other items. So if we go into tax options, you can click on these drop-down boxes, and there's a wide range of different options to allow you to set up taxing on different sorts of products and different areas and locations. I won't go through them all, but there's a lot of detail here, and you can really be very specific about how you set up all of these different options. So let's talk about the actual content, the product content, and how that will be structured. So first of all, what we'd want to do is create categories. Now, it works differently to SellerDeck desktop in the fact that you do create categories in a tree format like this, but there's actually no products underneath these categories. So what we would do is we would create our category, which is simply adding in the name and a thumbnail, a bit of information there. We can easily add a new subcategory or root category here, and then we can create the subcategories as well. So once we've created those categories, the way it would then work is we create the products and we assign those products to the categories. And similar to the filtering in SellerDeck desktop, we can set up some predefined criteria which will automatically populate certain categories depending on what options you select of a product. So if we wanted to create a product, the first thing that we do is we create an attribute. So we go to Manage Attributes here, and we set up an attribute, which hopefully you're familiar of. It's essentially, size, color, etc., etc. So this is where we manage all our attributes, which will be global across the sites. And if I click on one of these existing ones, we can see here's the sort of general options of the attribute. And then on the left-hand side, if I go Manage Label Options, this is where it lists the different options that you can put in there. So it's called accessory size, and it's large, medium, small, extra large, and I can replicate that across the different languages as well. Now, one thing that you can do, which is it can save a huge amount of time, is when you set up these different options and attributes, you may find that a specific product or a product group will have the same attributes across them. So really what you want to do is have 2 or 3 applied to that product in one go, which you can do. So you go to Attributes and you create an attribute set. So an attribute set, you can set it up for, let's have a look at accessories. So that would mean when I created a product, I could assign the attribute set of accessories, and it would therefore add all those different options, or give me the ability to add all those different options of the attributes against that product. So this can save a lot of time. So what you'd want to do is set up your attributes, set up your attribute sets, and then when you create your products, you can assign them. And again, I won't go into too much detail here because it does take a while to do it, but you can see there's all the different options listed here. This is where the different attributes are. So now we've created our categories, we've created our attributes, let's set up our products. So here we go, and this is where we manage products. And these are all the products through the whole website. Now there's a number of different type of products that you set up, and they are configurable products, simple products, bundle products, grouped products, and also you can do a digital download product. And the reason for them is they just have different options. You would select the appropriate product to suit what that product needs to do, how it needs to be set up. So what we're going to do is just take a simple product to begin with and just look into a bit of detail on that one. So I just click on this. This is a clothing simple product, and I'll just run through a few things here. So just like with every platform, you're going to have the product name, the description, the short description, you've got your SKU, your weight, and a few different options like that. Then you've got your pricing. You can set up your group pricing here, special pricing, tier pricing, so pricing breaks, lots of different options there. And there's, like with every platform, there's lots of different options you can fill in. But I wanted to show you this one here, which is titled clothing. So this is actually an attribute set called clothing. And when we were in the attribute set, there was one already set up. And this means that it's now applied these attributes to the product. So I can now say that this is black, it's casual, etc., etc. And you can set up these attributes to assign it so it knows what it is, and that can work with the filtering. And then this is where we manage the website. So there's multiple websites can be listed here, and you can select which one it's on and which one it isn't. And then we've got our upselling, which is quite important here. You can find products and relate them to it, and then you can put upselling and cross-selling products on there as well. So we've set up our categories, our attributes, and our products, and we've got that on our website. We've just taken an order, and this is where we would see that. So in the sales and then orders. So we'll find a pending order, which is one here, which we would select. And we could simply invoice and ship to complete the order. But here's all the information in the order. You can see what they've ordered, what they've bought. And we can put comments against it and submit the history. And there's a few different areas as well, which you can look into on the left-hand side here. Once that order's been done and completed, you've got your invoices, which will list all your invoices. They've all been paid and delivered. And you can see here a summary of the invoice. Now, I won't go directly into the reports and show you an example, but if you just went into the report section, you can see that there's options to export via CSV. So we'll be able to select some criteria and export those orders or export the reports by CSV. And I want to show you another area on customer accounts, and this is really more of a general idea of how Magento works and how the cloud works, just to give you a feel of really what's different between SellerDeck Desktop and cloud. And this is a great example. So this is a customer account, Jane Doe. So if I go into Jane's account, I can see a snapshot of what she's bought, her lifetime sales, her average sale, information here. I can look at her recent orders. I can just click one button to reorder that. I can look what's currently in her shopping cart right now, and I can also see what she's added to her wish list. So it's a very dynamic customer account, and that's often how Magento works. It has all this information on the server, all the database is held on the server, so it's there and it can be interrogated real time, which is something that SellerDeck can do, but not to the extent of Magento. And this is what I feel is one of the biggest strong points of it, is it gives you that real time dynamic effect of accounts. So I just wanted to quickly show you a couple things. Firstly, it is the Magento Commerce, the Magento Connect, which is the extensions area, and you can look through here and you can see lots of different extensions, and I mean they're literally never ending. There's just so many. There's pages and pages full of different types of extensions, and you can go through them and see what they are and find out what they're about. They range from being free to a few sort of tens of dollars, or they can be thousands upon thousands of dollars. It completely depends on what the requirement is. And the next thing I want to show you is this, which is SellerDeck Sports. And this is our demo store that we've created using Magento. So we built this design and implemented it in Magento. It is currently available as a demo store, and it's something that we'll be using as a starting point for building sites for customers. And it's a nice, attractive website. It's got some content in there, and you can see it lays it out really well. You've got your filtering options. I can click into a product. You can see that generally it's just an attractive and functional layout and design. So if I add this to cart, it goes into the cart summary. So again, just very clean and attractive, a great starting point, and we can amend this to suit any business. And this is responsive. So if I just make it smaller, you can see it changes, and then when it hits a mobile, you get the burger menu in the top left-hand corner. It drops down like this. Right. So, the SellerDeck Cloud Platform. In summary, it's based on Magento, but it's managed by SellerDeck. And that's the important thing here. And what that basically means is that we're going to take Magento and we're going to install and set that up on our servers, and we will provide the hosting service. We'll then provide training so you can understand how to use and maintain the platform. And we'll also provide ongoing support so you can continue to make tweaks and amendments. And if there's any technical issues, we're there to help. And that's essentially the base core platform that we'll be offering. So what it means is that when you move to SellerDeck Cloud, you're going to get this platform, which is Magento with SellerDeck around the edges. We're going to maintain that. We're going to keep it online. We're going to provide really fast hosting for you, and we're going to provide support to keep it going. And then on top of that, we'll provide services to design and launch the website, to get your rankings up and do general marketing, and to look at business strategy and how we can move your brand and your company forward. Now, in terms of costing for the base packages, it's very, very different for every single company. Magento requires a much more powerful server than SellerDeck Desktop, just because of the way it works. It's an online database, so it means that it's running a lot more scripts. It needs a much more powerful system. And also, if you don't have a very powerful server, then it becomes very slow. And if you look out there and you find some Magento sites, especially ones which are quite complex and heavily designed, they can just run so slowly that you'll find that it impacts your conversion rate. So making sure that you have a very powerful server is absolutely vital to the conversion rate. And then also support, having a company that you can rely on, which you can just call up at any time and get support service that you receive like you do now, is also critical to maintaining your business. So the cloud services, what are we actually offering? Well, we offer what we offer really with SellerDeck Desktop, which is SellerDeck Evolve, which is talking about business strategy and putting together a plan of action over the next 6 months to 12 months or longer, and then tying that up with SellerDeck Ignite, which is a marketing service where we look at SEO, blogging, pay-per-click, email marketing. SellerDeck Create, which is the web design and development services, so building you a new website or updating your website, and then SellerDeck Services and SellerDeck Support. So this all ties into what we call the SellerDeck Stack, which is an underlying platform of either SellerDeck Desktop or SellerDeck Cloud, and that's going back to the initial idea of giving you that choice. So you choose either one which is relevant to you and your business. You then have your e-commerce services like our payment gateway, integration with FIFO, integration with GFS. You have our hosting and support. We help implement and build you a new website. We then use SellerDeck Ignite, our online marketing service, to promote the website and get more traffic. And sitting at the very top is the business strategy. So SellerDeck Evolve, talking about what you're doing as a company, how you're moving forward, what your messaging is to your customer base, things like that. It's very important to talk about the challenges of platform migration, because whenever you talk about a new platform, it basically means you're going to park up your current site and you're going to build a new site. And whenever you do that, it carries risk and does not always result in an improvement. And we've seen that with companies who have left SellerDeck Desktop to go to an online platform for a number of reasons, and often begrudgingly left us because they're really happy with our service. It's just we didn't offer an online platform. And they've not had the best result. And there's a number of reasons because of that. One of them is content migration. Actually, getting your content from desktop to a new platform is quite a task. It can take either a huge amount of time if you do it manually, or even if you do it through a mass import. As you can see with Magento, there's not one product set. There's lots of different product options. So how do you bring in your products? What product option do you set up for that specific product? So there's a lot of technical issues that you can face. And if you don't do it correctly, there can be issues of not setting up your products correctly, or messing up the way they're displayed and shown on the categories and the subcategories. The next one, and probably the most important one, is search engine retention. So whenever you move platform, there's a good chance that your URLs are going to change. And when your URLs change, if you don't tell Google about that, they then start ranking you from 0 again, and you lose all of that history that you've built up. And it can be a very difficult position to be in and take some time to get back up. So it's important that you use a company that know exactly what to do, have done it before, have the experience, and that's definitely us. Reliable extensions, finding extensions that will work and will not cause problems. So what you may find is you get a great extension, looks great, sounds great, really good price, and you install it and it actually clashes with the full system, and it creates performance issues, or it creates a backdoor and there's some vulnerabilities, or it just generally doesn't work, and you're left in a position where you don't necessarily know that it's the extension causing this, and you need help and support. Another challenge is browser experience. So whenever you make a big change, the way your existing customers use the website may change considerably, and that may not sit well with them. No one necessarily likes change, but it's important to have a bit of fluency whenever you do a general browser for the browser experience. You have some fluency for the customer, so they go from the old site to the new site, and there's some sort of continuous design and flow of the navigation, and that really falls into how you set up the website, how you design the website. There needs to be a lot of thought put in for that. New technology. So obviously any new technology means relearning, training, all the sort of issues that you face with that. You need to make sure that you have a company who can help you through that transition. And then finally, ongoing support and services. So are you just going to do the migration and then try and add in support afterwards, or can a company offer you both the setup and the ongoing services, ongoing support? So now I want to briefly talk about SellerDeck Create, which is our service of web design and implementation. And in summary, what this includes is analysis. So we'll look at your Google Analytics, we'll look at your sales, we'll look at your competition. We'll just get a general feel for where you sit in the market, and we'll try and understand what's important in order to increase the average order value or increase the conversion rate. This is quite a critical point in the project. With the right analysis, with the right understanding and a good design brief, you put yourselves into a position where you can move forward feeling confident that actually the end result is going to be a healthy return of your investment. We also do consultation, so looking at specific issues that you raise as being very important. We'll bring in the guys from our team, depending upon who's relevant, and talk about that in more detail and trying to find a solution. We then do attractive designs, we implement those designs, and we do ongoing services and support. So, in summary, why should you choose SellerDeck Cloud? Well, it's a feature-rich and flexible online platform which may offer you the sort of features that you're looking for. It's managed by a company that you trust. You can maintain your relationship with us, and that all gives you a greater chance of success and growth. And ultimately, What we're here for is to help you grow your business. And we believe that if you choose SellerDeck, whether that's even desktop or cloud, we can achieve that. But SellerDeck Cloud just gives you another platform to choose from, which may just enhance that ability to increase your sales and just generally grow your business. So what next? If you want to talk about this in more detail, if you want to go through what options there are, what we can do for you, we'd love to have a conversation. This is still early days for us. So SellerDeck Cloud has been launched officially. It is available. But actually what we're looking for is some pilot customers. And what we mean by that is we're looking for some customers who we can do a brand new website build for, implement this, get them live, but treat as a bit of a pilot. And therefore, we're going to give you some great pricing and a really good service. Now, when I say a pilot customer, I don't mean that we have no experience. You're going to be a guinea pig and it's going to go horribly wrong. We have experience of building Magento sites, and not only building Magento sites, but we have a resource where we can bring in someone who has built about 20 sites from SellerDeck Desktop to Magento. So we have that experience of the transition phase. And then SellerDeck's been delivering SellerDeck Desktop websites for the last 2.5, 3 years, and we've always had success, and some of the success stories have been pretty substantial, over double the sales overnight once the website's been launched. So we know that actually overall we can deliver success, we can deliver growth, and that's really where we're aiming and what we're aiming for. So questions and answers. I can see there's been a lot of questions asked in the chat box, which I'll try and go through and we'll highlight a few of them and I'll answer a few of them. We may want to just pick this up off the presentation and we can chat via email or by phone afterwards. So you can see lots of things here. Let's see what some of the questions are. So one of the questions is, what is the limit of options to attributes? I don't believe there is any. I think it's really the limit is how many options and attributes do you feel is not too many and just going to create confusion or frustration for customers. There isn't any limitations on those things, I believe. One of the questions is, will you be offering a special deal for customers wishing to convert from desktop to cloud? Right now, yes. We are offering preferential pricing to existing customers, and we do have some tools to do exports and mass exports from desktop to cloud so that we can reduce some time there as well and offer a good price over maybe a third party who wouldn't have that experience or those tools. Are you going to supply a data transfer service to get data moved from SellerDeck to Magento? Just mention that there. Right now, it's not necessarily a service. It's part of a project. In the future, we're looking at potentially creating migration packs, which we may be able to offer as a service or offer as almost like a product. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, it will be as part of an overall project. Another question is, will you accept other e-commerce services? I assume that means things like other payment gateways and other services like that. Magento has integrations with pretty much everything out there. It's sort of the #1 go-to platform to integrate with. So if there's an e-commerce service out there, it's almost 9 times out of 10 it's going to be integrated with Magento. And yes, we would be able to integrate that, and that's something that actually we would want to, because it can add a lot of value and benefit to it. So another question is sort of similar to the one about multiple attributes and choices, but it's also to do with based on price depending on the to and from location. That's works similar to desktop, cloud, Magento, all the same really. You can set different options and you can have prices associated with them. So that is all possible. So this is quite an important one actually. I'll talk a bit about this. So someone said about desktop offers good out of the box SEO. How does Magento hold up against that? Well, I was having a conversation with a customer the other day actually by email, and he asked the same question. I think with desktop, what we've got to remember as well is that you guys have been online for so long that you have a lot of history against your website. So yes, SellerDeck desktop does rank really well. The SEO is great, but actually now there's been a transition in SEO, and it's more about content and links with social media and other things. There's a lot more to it. So SellerDeck desktop put the groundwork in early on, and that got you into a great position. And you've got so much history that you rank really well. But as the world moves forward, actually that's becoming not necessarily less important, but there's more emphasis on things like blogging and more content and social media. So you do need to make sure you're always moving forward. So when you compare desktop with Magento, I think if you started a brand new website now, desktop still would be brilliant on SEO and can rank very highly. But I think Magento wouldn't necessarily be any worse. It's really about what you do. Great question is, will we come back with any predefined and recommended plugins or extensions? Definitely, yes. We're already looking at which ones we feel are safe, and we're going to have an approved list of extensions, and there's a good chance we'll be building them in the future as well. So this is a question from one of our partners who's asked about, is there details on how this will work with developers and partners? Right now, not anything set in stone. So we'll be looking at that, but we'll discuss that separately just with the partners. So another question is SellerDeck Cloud a one-off cost, or is it a monthly cost? It's a monthly cost. Like I mentioned before, it's a platform that we're going to offer. So essentially, you're buying into hosting support. That's what we're going to offer as a platform. So there'll be a running monthly cost to cover those services. Another one is, can we get a trial of SellerDeck Cloud? Potentially. Let's chat about that. It depends on what you want to do and a few things like that. Okay, another question is, would I be able to export orders to be able to manage the order processing in another system? So that's something actually a lot of people do with SellerDeck Desktop at the moment. Again, answer is yes. You can do exports, but often you'll find that the platform you're using, or the back office system you're using, will have an integration with Magento. That's often the case. It's crazy how many people integrate, how many integrations there are. But you need to look into that. So I think generally, in theory, yes, but we need to look into each one specifically. Does it link with Sage? Yes. Stock control. So does it give stock control? Yes, it does. Real-time stock control across multiple sites. Very, very advanced stock control. So another question is about, and this is a good one, it's about patches. So what happens when Magento releases new patches? And in fact, if you saw on my demo store, there was a few alerts there saying you need to upgrade this and do this. And that will be a sort of forever, never-ending thing that happens. And especially the more extensions that you add, there'll be extension updates as well. So with all of these issues, I think it's the same as desktop, same as any platform. We can do those for you, but generally you need to make sure you're in a safe position where you're not just upgrading things without QAing stuff or trying it on a demo store. So there will be a way in which we can test it out before we go forward with an update, and we can make sure that it's not going to have a negative impact. Another question is, can we use different currencies? Yes. Is it possible to keep the same URLs? It generally is, but usually what you want to do is change the structure. So Magento has a slightly different structure to SellerDeck. It's not hugely different. It's still very friendly URLs, so it's actually the real text and not a load of random characters. When you move platform, you want to just go with the new URLs. But what we would do is a load of redirects and things like that. So we'd be able to do everything so you could use the new URL structures, but actually not lose your rankings. That's not a problem. So there's a few more questions. So the next one is about project timescale, and there's been quite a few about price. So I'll talk about timescale and price and tie them in together as well. So timescale is completely dependent upon the project. What we found with SellerDeck Desktop is to get a website live from doing a new website build, which essentially I see a move to SellerDeck Cloud as being, it can be up to sort of 6 months. So it's quite a commitment of time on both sides. And usually the reason why this takes the time is that there's a lot of to and froing on, confirming and agreeing designs and how things work. And then there's a lot of new content and a lot of new features that you're going to have to use and set up. So making sure that we've both committed the right amount of time will just add up to that overall timescale. So we have got some smaller sites ready in more like 4 months, and then on the responsive upgrades, which is using a template, we can do that in sort of 4 or 5 weeks. But on a full bespoke project, it's potentially up to 6 months. So pricing. Now the pricing is going to vary, and it's very difficult to give just a sort of off-the-shelf price, because there's not really an off-the-shelf package, because every business is different. And because of the requirement for hosting, it does mean that the prices can vary quite considerably. But what we've been looking at when we've been costing this up, we're going to go for quality, and that's what's important to us, is fast service, great service, great support, and great designs and business strategy. So we're not looking to offer a very low-cost service which suffers from a slow page response. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is to deliver success, and that requires an infrastructure, and that costs money. So our starting package is going to be around about sort of £280 plus VAT per month, and as I say, that will be like the starting package for hosting, support, and Magento installed. And then on top of that, we'll have our rebuild services, redesign, and SellerDeck Create. Now, if you look out on the market, it's not rare to pay sort of 30, 40, 50,000 pounds for a rebuild. Magento is a very difficult and complex package, and does cost quite a considerable amount to build. But what we generally plan to do is have a number of different tiers depending on what your budget is, but also what you want to achieve. Right now, I believe that we'll be able to look at doing a pilot, brand new website build and launch. That's us taking responsibility of the content, everything like that, for sort of around about the £15,000 mark, give or take a fair few £1,000s, and we may be able to bring that even further down. So that's some rough pricing of where we are right now. Moving forward, we are looking to, as I say, create different tiers at different price points, and in a way, we want to replicate what we have now with desktop, which is using a template and getting a great end product, but not necessarily getting something completely customized and bespoke. Therefore, the cost is a lot lower, or getting the high-end, completely customized bespoke site and paying a bit more. And as I showed on the first couple slides, when we deliver websites, we do deliver success. We do get a result, and the customer gets a return in investment. And the way we approach these projects is we look at what the potential opportunity is and what your ambition is, and then we decide on, does it make sense to invest this sort of money at this moment in time. And I'd also like to point out that when we've spoken with customers and we've looked at SellerDeck Cloud, we've actually pushed the decision, and it's gone forward with desktop, because we've realized that actually desktop is what they need, and it's the right at the right investment point, and it's the right time for it. So it's important to look at cloud, but it may actually reiterate that desktop is the one for you, and we'd look at all the different elements and decide moving forward. So a couple more questions. So there's some questions about sort of automated updates and on currencies and backups and things like that. Yes, that you can run schedules to do backups. In fact, that would be a service that we would offer within the hosting, and also how to update currency rates. I believe that ties in with the latest currency rates. Another question is, will there be templates so we can create our own websites? The simple answer right now is no, and the reason why is that we don't feel that we have a template which we can confidently put out there and ensure that it's solid, and we're going to be able to support, and you're not going to have any issues. But ultimately, we do want to do that. It's just not available right now. And when we first built our responsive designs in desktop, the first version that we built was was far from where we wanted it to be, and we just don't want to get ahead of ourselves and rush. So right now, SellerDeck Cloud is really about doing a bespoke build for someone, keeping it within the company and our eyes and attention on it, so we can deal with any issues and solve them and fix them. What we don't want to do is release a template out there and let a company just manage it themselves, because it is a complex platform, and it's quite difficult if you don't have that experience and have someone at hand who can help you out straight away. Right, well, that's all the questions at the moment. I can't see any others. Oh, another one's just popped in about confidentiality. So I guess that's talking about your data. As with everything, we don't give any data specifically to customers away. We may talk about general things, but we never relate that back to a customer. Like I showed you on those initial slides, I took screenshots, but you have no idea who they are, and that's the way we keep it. So yeah, we keep things quiet. I think, guys, if you've got any more questions, then it's probably best that that you ping them in an email or give me a call. I know there's a couple of people that have asked for a call back, which I've taken note. Graham, I'll catch up with you another day, or maybe later on this afternoon, and we can chat about this. But if anyone else has any more questions or wants to talk about anything in particular, or even just if this is prompted to talk about SellerDeck Desktop as well, then there's my number on the screen, there's my email address. Just give me a call, and we can go through it. So apologies for the issues with the sound and the screens. I'm not a techie, let's put it that way, so forgive me. Right, so I'm going to sign out, guys. Really appreciate your time. It's been great, and I will catch up with you hopefully soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.